Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm in the open barn where you've seen me doing a lot of wood splitting, etc. A few days ago, Susie and I had a little rummage around in here because we were looking for a piece of wood. In the kitchen, we've got two lanterns to hang and above the food prep area. So we thought it would be nice to have a little piece of wood with the lanterns hanging underneath. So we had a look around all this wood here. We came up with this piece here. Now it's a bit battered and beaten up and there's a bit of rot on the edge, etc. But it's quite characterful. And so hanging up with the lantern that end and the lantern that end, we thought that might make a nice characterful feature. And it would also be wide enough for Susie to put some decoration up at Christmas and Easter, that sort of thing. So that's the piece we picked. And yesterday I came out here to start working on it and preparing it. And of course things changed quite quickly because what I wanted to do was first of all establish that it is usable, that it's not completely rotten. So I did the old screwdriver stab test and established that the vast majority of it is solid. So it's just the edges that were rotten. And of course it had lots and lots of grime, years of dust on it, so I had to wire brush all that off. And then I got my wire brush attachment to my drill and I started taking off the loosest stuff off the edges. And it was coming on quite nicely. And then Rob and Susie from over the road popped over for a cup of tea. And Rob said, "Oh, what are you up to?" And I showed him. And he said, "To be quite honest with you, mate, I've got lots of oak slabs at home that were left there by the previous owner when they bought them. And he's got proper planking." So he said, "Why don't we all head over there, have a look, see if we've got a suitable piece over there." So, putting that to one side for a moment. So, what we came up with is this piece here. And it was taken from a longer slab. So what we did, we cut it to length. And over at his place, what we did, we sanded off this side. And this will be the underneath. So this will, when it's hanging up on the ceiling there, this is the side you'll see. And it had lots of marks where it had originally been cut into size. So I've sanded all those. And as you can see, it's a lovely looking piece. And this wavy edge here and the other side, I think that's going to be a real character piece. And he's got loads of these. He's got loads of them. It's a bit wider than we were originally anticipating, but then Susie just said, "Well, that's good because I can put more decoration up." Fair enough. There's a logic there. So what I need to do now, you won't see this side. It'll be it'll be up that way. So you won't actually see this, but it's a bit rough. So I'm going to take a sander to this and I'm going to quickly sand my final sand on this just to smooth it off a bit. And then I've got to think about hanging it. Now, originally I was going to hang this with just a hook at each end, but this is a bit heavier. So I'm going to need 4 fittings really, and then we'll hang it from a chain, 4 chains. I don't think I've got the 4 fittings that I now need, so I'm going to have to go and get those. But anyway, today I'll just want to get it sanded and prepared and then woodworm treated. And I'll leave that overnight and then we can carry on. But with this piece, all is not lost because I do have another idea for it. But that falls into the category of sort of arts and crafts and hobby. And haven't really got time for hobbies at the minute. But I'm going to bear this in mind over the next few weeks. I've got another idea for it. So all is not lost. Right, let's get on. And in the meantime, Susie's got a bit of a rust problem she wants to deal with.
Right, I'm just going to paint this rim on the log burner because we had a slight leak in the roof and the water was coming down. So I've cleaned all this up with wire wool to get the watermarks off, and I'm just going to paint over this with some black hammerite, which you can paint straight over rust. So hopefully that'll be okay. I'll just get this stuff out of here. Okay, I think that'll do. And whilst I'm here, I'll just tell you about this back plate here. Rob and Susie bought it for us for Christmas, and we cleaned it up, it was rusty, but if you want to have a look at how I embellished it, we did a patron video. You can do a free patron trial if you want to have a look at that video. Sorry, Lexi.
I'm going to give that a good half hour, maybe an hour, to just soak in, and then I'll turn it around and I'll put the xylithium, the woodworm treatment, on the other side, and I'll leave it overnight. It's always best to leave these things, but that's looking really nice. Whilst it's wet, you can get a sense of the colour that it will look like once it's been oiled and waxed. It's going to look lovely. Right, whilst I'm waiting for that woodworm treatment, leaving it overnight, I'm going to have a look at getting this light up in this cloakroom. Now, everything that we do at the moment seems to have a temporary feel. I can't do this wiring properly until we've lifted the ceiling off and taken it all down. So I'm just feeding some wire around, bring it down, and then I've got to come through to put light switch the other side here. So I'm just cable tying it to this existing ducting. And then at some point we'll take the ceiling down and we'll do it properly. So it's got a very temporary feel, all of it. So that's what I'm going to do now, and hopefully we'll have a bit of light in there soon.
Right, I've just got this smaller chandelier out the tower room. I'm not going to go for the bigger one because the room's not very big, and I just think it might be in the way because it's an odd shaped room. So we'll put it up anyway and see. But I'm just going to clean it all off because it's filthy. I've got some low energy bulbs to go in here too. So it's nice and sunny this week, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to get outside and do a few bits. Hooray! We have light. Yes, I know, Max. We can see your food. We asked people for questions on the last vlog, so we could do a Q&A, and we got quite a few questions, didn't we?
A few, yeah.
So, what's the first one?
Well, the first one was one we get quite a lot actually, and probably the obvious one, which is why France? So,
well,
why France?
We had a holiday in 2002 on the Canal du Midi.
Yeah.
And a gîte. Where was that?
A week on the canal and a week
Yeah.
in the gîte, which was
down near Carcassonne.
Yeah, it was all around Carcassonne, so we could see the Pyrenees from the gîte.
Yeah.
And we just loved it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. We loved going to the markets. And we always go self-catering when we go on holiday.
Because we take the dogs.
And it's just nice going to the local markets and buying local foods, some of which you've never cooked with before. And then going home.
Not the sausages.
Oh, well, yeah.
Andouillette sausages.
Avoid the andouillettes, the tripe sausages. We did make a mistake, didn't we?
Even the dogs wouldn't eat them.
No, they're not great. And so that was our first experience of France, wasn't it? 2002, and we just fell in love with it, and always wanted to be here after that. But it took us 18 years, didn't it?
Yeah, because
various reasons.
Life gets in the way.
Life definitely got in the way. It was based on that 2-week holiday, wasn't it? A question that came in from Alexa actually, and she said, what did I used to do as a job in the UK? I've had 1 or 2 jobs, but I suppose a main one that I had before I went self-employed, I worked for a textile company that used to sell, that used to design and sell textiles, soft furnishing textiles, curtains and settee fabrics, that sort of thing. And I was actually the purchasing manager there for 7 years now. But I got bored of office politics, and it wasn't a job I went into. It was just a job. I'd left a job and went and spent the summer in Greece. This was 1987, and I came back and I needed a job, and it was just a job to see me through the winter because I was going to head back to Greece the following summer. But as it turned out, I got this job, worked my way up to be the purchasing manager within a year. And yeah, it's quite interesting in some respects, but I got bored of office politics, and so I got together with a friend who was in the motor industry. He was a panel beater, repairing cars, and he said, we found this new process coming in where you can repair car interiors, plastics, etc., with new methods." And he said, "Do you fancy doing that?" Because we were both bored. We did that, and I did that for 25 years.
But you did exterior work as well.
Did exterior work and paint work on cars as a result of all that.
So you were one of the first to do what they call smart repairs,
mobile repairs, yeah.
And you had 4 or 5 people working for you, didn't you?
We had
at one point
5 vans on the road at one point, covering the centre of the south of England. Yeah, it was hard work, and it was a means to an end, really. I just wanted to get out of being employed, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, actually. I just wanted to work with my hands and get away from all office politics. But I've got no real passion for cars, so it was 25 years in the car industry, wasn't it? Was it 25? Yeah.
A long time.
Long time. Murders get less.
And out in all weathers, in the freezing cold.
Yeah, all weathers. Yeah. But so yeah, that's it's given me quite a few skills for what I'm doing here. My grandfather was a carpenter, and my father didn't go into carpentry, but he knew everything about carpentry. So carpentry is in my blood, but I've never been formally trained to do it.
But he was an accountant.
He went into accountancy in the end. So yeah, I've got a bit of a varied past, which basically has given me a lot of skills for this place. We did ask whether you wanted us to do a whole episode, question and answer episode, or whether we just answer 2 or 3 every now and then. And the opinions were split. Some said, "Oh, we don't like the question and answer vlogs." And other people said, "Yeah, I love." So it's a question of you don't know what to do for the best. So we thought we'd just start with just answering a couple of questions every now and then. And if you want us to do a whole vlog, question and answer, we will. And so another question that we've been asked is, how many properties did you view before this one?
So I think it was 12 or 13.
Yeah, about that.
It was we moved over. We looked for a long time online before we moved.
Yeah.
And we were stuck in a rental during lockdown and Brexit and stuff. So we were online all the time looking at stuff. We didn't always get a response from the agents, did we?
No,
when we wanted to view some.
But Leggett's, which was the agent we went with eventually, they always answered our questions, didn't they? Because they have representatives all over the country. They answered every time, but a lot of the French agents,
they don't bother.
Just didn't even acknowledge an answer. Didn't get an answer from them.
So yeah, when we bought this, we liked it because it had the tower, and we were more interested in having an enclosed area for the dogs, really, weren't we? Than buying a chateau.
Yeah, because we like the dogs to roam around freely, so we thought, well, we'll have to fence everything, that sort of made us think, well, how much land have we got to fence and what have you? But when this came up, completely enclosed, that was a really big plus for us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the fact that it had a tower.
We kept looking at the stuff and I was going, no, it hasn't got a tower.
Yeah, I'd say, oh, I found one. This looks really nice. What do you think? And she said, has it got a tower? No. Has it got a turret? No. Not interested. So there you go. Oh, and Kathy asked, she asked 2 or 3 questions. She said, was it difficult to get a visa? We didn't need a visa because
No.
Britain at that point, although Britain had voted to leave the European Union, we were still officially members of the European Union. Therefore, we could move here under freedom of movement, which means literally you just book a train or a ferry, show your passport, and you're here. So there was no visa.
So
application.
we've just got a 5-year residency.
Yeah.
That's normal, and then you just renew it.
Well, after the 5 years, we automatically get a 10-year visa,
okay.
but it's a permanent thing. It's a residency permit, effectively.
Yeah.
So we're here permanently until we decide to leave or they kick us out.
Yeah.
And they won't kick us out, hopefully. Right, I think that'll do for questions for now. If you've got any other questions, please keep them coming. There were 1 or 2 other questions I think we'll address maybe at the end of the next vlog.
Yeah.
But keep them coming, and then we'll answer them. Right, on that note, I'd like to thank Brian and Kathy, who bought us some coffees.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And Paula, thank you. We thanked Paula last week for becoming a patron, but she actually went up a tier this week. So thank you, Paula.
And thank you to all our patrons and subscribers. And we've gained a few new ones, haven't we?
Yes, and you might have noticed we've put out a couple of YouTube shorts. And we're going to
on Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, of course. So, and they seem to have gone down well. So there's another one we're just about finished, and we're going to keep getting a few shorts out there. Everybody else does. Why shouldn't we?
And we're outside today. It's been really nice this afternoon, and I've actually cut the grass.
Yeah, I've not been here today.
I've been dying to get out. No, you've been helping Tony again.
Tony and Karen with. We've got their area that they're doing for their daughter Charmaine. We've got all the plasterboard up today, so it's looking really good. So yeah, really pleased with that. So anyway, we should love you and leave you.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye.